All right, let me try to shoot this in one shot. All right. What's up YouTube, it's Matthew here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about if wholesaling real estate is really worth it. Let's go. Before we go on, be sure to smash that like button, it really supports this channel. And then subscribe if you all are not subscribed. A lot of you all watch my videos but are not subscribed. I'm talking to you. Just click that subscribe button, support your boy. I'm trying to reach 10K before this year ends. I think we'll be able to make it, but just subscribe if you're not subscribed. Also, you all check out my online course on how to wholesale real estate A to Z. I teach you in depth how to find deals, talk to sellers, all things dealing with the contract with the title companies. And I get all these questions. Even though I do have a few videos on it, I go way more in depth in my online course. So check the link down below if you're interested in learning how to wholesale real estate, like for real. All right, you all, so we're all looking for financial freedom, right? And there are different avenues to do that. And in this video and on this channel, we talk about wholesale real estate, but is it actually worth it for you and your situation and your family, right? You can do other things. You can stay at your 9-to-5 job and just contribute to your 401k, build that up. You can do drop shipping, you can do blogging, you can do YouTube, you can do different things. But is wholesale real estate actually worth it for you and your situation? So in today's video, I'm going to just kind of go over the pros and cons and why I think wholesaling real estate is actually worth it. The first point I'm going to talk about is, to me, probably the biggest reason why I think wholesale real estate is worth it. And to me, it's worth it because it actually puts you into the game of real estate. A lot of beginners, they want to invest in real estate. They want to flip properties, hold rentals, they want to develop, they want to deal with commercial properties, but you need a starting point. And to me, wholesaling real estate is the perfect starting point. And more than anything, wholesale real estate teaches you how to source deals at a steep, deep discount. Right? Let's say you do want to eventually develop properties, right? Wholesaling real estate teaches you how to go off market, go directly to a developer and get a property off market at a deeper discount than if it was on market. Another thing that it teaches you is just how to run comps, how to look at a house, kind of look at and estimate the repairs of a property and put a price to it, right? You can use that to wholesale deals, to flip properties, and to hold rentals. And in my online course, I teach people exactly the perfect way how to run comps on real estate deals so they can wholesale for massive margins, right? Because you don't want to just keep on dealing with $2 or $5 grand wholesale deals. Like, how do you make the spread even larger? And so I teach that on the course. So check the link down below once again. And then another thing is that wholesaling, just talking about it being worth it, it puts you in a game. It gives you like a new eyelids whenever you look at properties. I know when I first started, when I started to drive around, like I wasn't daydreaming anymore. When I looked out the window, I would look at houses totally different. I'm like, wow, that would be a good house to flip. Wow, this is a really good area. Wow, I should probably put this down on my Deal Machine app so I can target this seller later on. It teaches you how to learn about your market. Let's say I get out of wholesaling real estate. If I do want to stay around my area, I know which areas are the best areas, which areas have the best school, which areas are A, B, or C. Also, it putting you in the game, it teaches you how to negotiate, right? And to me, that's one of the most important skills as a human being persuasive. You can apply those principles over to your personal life. And so to me, the first reason, one of the biggest reasons for wholesaling real estate being worth it is because that it puts you into the real estate game. And now talking about, I guess, a con of wholesale real estate, why it wouldn't be worth it, is that it is pretty difficult. There can be a huge learning curve, especially for beginner wholesalers, right? Especially when you're looking at properties. Yes, it teaches you eventually how to comp properties, but you're not gonna learn that tomorrow, or most likely not within a month. And so just going over that learning curve, just teaching you, just that whole experience, is that something that you really want to go through, going through months of making mistakes. Just it being difficult. It can also be hard finding a seller, right? Because all investors are going after off-market properties, especially over to sellers that are motivated to sell off market, distressed properties. And yes, even though you see these distressed properties while you're driving around, most other investors are looking at those properties and targeting the exact same ones you are too. So that in a way can deter people from wholesaling real estate, that it can be difficult in those ways. And just the emotional side of that, I was reading a story online about a wholesaler and his beginning journeys in this business. And he talked about how he had a deal under contract. They were right about to close and they sent the settlement statement beforehand to the sellers, to the buyers, to the wholesaler. And the seller called up the wholesaler and said, "You're making $7,000 off of this deal. There is no way I'm going forward with this deal. I'm gonna cancel my contract. I don't care what I signed. And if you don't cancel it, I'm gonna show up to your house and blast your head off." And so just dealing with the emotions of sellers and being able to learn how to deal with different personalities, that can be pretty difficult for a beginner person learning real estate. So the next point I want to talk about on why wholesale real estate is worth it is because it doesn't require much of an upfront cost, right? You can really start with little money and make a lot of money in a short amount of time, right? Because it's crazy to think, like, I've done deals where I closed deals in like 11 days and I made over 15 grand off of it. So it's all like, yes, it does cost some money, but there's some deals that doesn't cost you much money and you can get so much money in a short amount of time. Especially getting into real estate, like you don't have to worry about putting 20% down on the property. Let's say you're wholesaling a house for $100,000. You don't need to bring $20,000 up to that deal, or even to pay for the expenses of this business is nowhere near $20,000. And also you don't need at the moment like private money. You don't need actually like to know an investor so well. I mean, as long as you can bring them deals, they'll come. So there's not a lot of upfront costs associated with it. You don't have to deal with the repairs of a property and different things like that. So I think another reason why wholesaling real estate is worth it is because it doesn't require so much upfront fees and you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time. I guess talking about the flip side of that is that it does cost money. And for people who probably doesn't have a lot of money, that can be pretty expensive. You have to think about the subscriptions you have to get in order to get leads. You have to think about the different tools and resources. Let's say you're skip tracing, or you're sending out direct mail, or you're doing SMS. Like all those things cost money, and like people at the complete bottom, that can deter them from investing in wholesaling real estate. Seeing if it's actually worth it for them. So, I mean, you probably do have to work like a part-time job or something in order to get some funds. Yes, it doesn't require a lot of upfront fees or upfront costs, but it does require some sort of money. And just talking about that, I mean, sometimes wholesaling cannot be like a regular income job, right? Let's say you're a big business, right? You're getting like 10 deals a month. There's some months you may have to go down to 5 deals. And then let's say you have a full staff that's used to getting 10 deals a month. Like, what are you going to do? I mean, if they're getting paid by commission, that will drastically decrease their monthly income, right? Or even if you're a small wholesaler like myself who can get 1 to 2 deals a month. Let's say you go a month without getting a deal. That happened before in my business, and I'm all like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? How am I going to alleviate this and make it work? So sometimes there can be fluctuations in your wholesaling business. You can't depend on the steadiness all the time of wholesaling. Another reason why I think wholesaling real estate is definitely worth it is because you get to network with other investors, other wholesalers, and especially your cash buyers that you can use to fund your deals. Yes, wholesaling gets you into the game, but now let's say you want to start flipping, you want to hold rentals. I know for me in my business with my cash buyers, I have some cash buyers that I can call up if I want to eventually invest in a rental income. They've given me their rates, and the crazy thing is I don't have to put any money down. I do have to pay like a small fee, and the interest rates are a little bit higher than your traditional bank loans. I can just get the loan as soon as I can, and they don't have to look at my FICO score, my credit score. They don't have to look at my income or different things like that. They just want to make sure, hey, does this work? Are you actually going to cash flow for this property and different things like that? And so that's one of the huge things that I love about wholesaling. Let's say you don't even get a wholesale deal, but you find cash buyers and you get to network with those people and you bring them a deal, but they're like, I don't want the deal, I want the flip. And you split that flip with that cash buyer, and you can end up making even more money off of the flip than you would do if you wholesale that property to that cash buyer. Now, the final thing I want to talk about on why you should consider wholesaling real estate, or why it probably isn't worth, because of the bad stigma it gets. Wholesaling real estate is getting illegal in more and more states every few months. I remember it started with Illinois, and then now it's like I was here in Oklahoma, Virginia, and different states. And so that's something you have to consider. Like, do I want to start this and I have to end up getting my license and paying for that training? Or let's say they completely shut down wholesaling. Like, even if you have a license, you can't do this. So that's something you definitely have to consider. And then just the thing about finding cash buyers. Let's say you're starting out and you don't properly know how to comp a property, and you can't find a cash buyer, and you put like so many deals under contract. You wasted the time of all those sellers that you have to cancel out of, and then they'll find out, oh, you're wholesaling. I don't want to mess with wholesalers at all, you know, and different things like that. And that's why in my online course I teach people how to comp property the right way, so they can learn how to have a cash buyer every time they get a deal under contract. And then another bad stigma with wholesaling are what the realtors say about wholesaling, right? Because they're competitive. They're seeing people make 10, 20 times more than they would if they would just sell it and get their traditional 3 to 6% fee off of a deal. And when they see this average Joe make, 4 or 5 times more than what they would make, it makes them jealous and it makes them badmouth the wholesaler. So just, I guess the different stigmas with that can be a reason why wholesaling real estate may not be worth it for everyone. I hope you all really enjoyed this video. Be sure to like it once again, and then comment down below on which of these points you resonate with the most. And do you think wholesale real estate is worth it for you and your business? I want to know down below in the comments. And once again, if you all are interested in that online course, check it out down below. You all have a great day. I'll talk to you all later.